Everyone, this is Lakshman. I am from Vishnu Institute of Technology. In this video, we are going to learn about what is closure, callback functions, asynchronous and await functions, and what are promises. And lastly, we are going to learn about the to-do list. At first, we are going to learn about the closure in JavaScript. What is closure? A closure is in JavaScript is a function that remembers the variables from its outer scope, even after the outer scope has finished executing. That means a function is defined inside the another function. Here you can see the function inner function is defined inside the outer function. Here you can see that this inner function is able to use this outer variable which is outside this function. That means it can access the outer variables which is outside the inner function. This is called the closure feature in JavaScript. Okay. The inner function retains access to the variables and arguments of the outer function. That is about the closure. The next one is the callback. What is callback? A callback is a function passed as an argument to another function. Here you can see the display data is a function. Here this is the display data function. This is passed as a parameter to the fetch data function. Here this is the fetch data function. So here you can see the data is going to be printed in the terminal. We set that time is about 2000 milliseconds, which is about 2 seconds. After the 2 seconds, the callback function is called. Let us run this code. Node space callback.js. Here you can see it is taking off 2 seconds time and printed and logged the fetch data, and then the data is fetched. This constant is printed. We forgot about the execution of closer.js. Let us run this as well. Here you can see I am Lakshman from outer function. This variable got printed. And the next one is promises. Here you can see this is the code for promises.js. Let us discuss about the promises. What is a promise? A promise is an object that represents the eventual completion or failure of an asynchronous operation. It has three states. The first one is pending, and the second one is fulfilled, and the third one is rejected. Pending is the initial state or operation not complete, and the fulfilled means the operation is successful, and the rejected means the operation got failed. Here you can see uh, we use the promises. We return the new promise which having the parameters resolve and reject, and we set the set timeout function, and inside that function we set the success value as true. If the success value is true, we resolve the data fetched. Otherwise, that means the success is false. The reject function prints the error fetch data. That means here you can see this got run if the promise is resolved, and whether a error is erased that got catched by this function catch, and this will run if the promise is rejected. Okay, the next one is async and await. I have written the code similar to the promise. Here you can see this is the code for async and await. What is async? Async or await provide a modern cleaner syntax for working with promises. Async is used to define a function that always returns a promise, and the await is used to pass the function execution until the promise is resolved or rejected. Okay, here you can see we returned in the new promise and we set the set out timeout function as well for 2 seconds. Here you can see here we return the function asynchronous function and await as well. Here the await is written, that means we have to wait for the execution of the switch data function. Okay, if it is successful, it locks the data, or any error arises, it locks the error. This is about asynchronous and await. That means usually the callback functions are the simple functions passed as an argument to the another function. And these callback functions are very simple they are used for very simple functions, asynchronous tasks. And the promises are used to handle the asynchronous functions uh, using the dot then function and the dot catch functions. And these promises are used to manage the multiple asynchronous functions as well, asynchronous tasks. And the third one is about asynchronous and await. The asynchronous is a cleaner and asynchronous looking function, and this is for clean and readable asynchronous code. We use it for the clean and readable and asynchronous code. And finally, we are going for the to-do list. Here, this is the code. I am giving a code overview. We are going to add the task to the list, which is having the title, the due date, and the completion time as well. Completion is a boolean value which has the values the false or true. And the next one is we are categorizing the tasks into the three types. The one is overdue, and the other is due today, and the other is due later. And lastly, we are going to display these tasks in a readable and structured format. In this format, we are going to print, we are going to log the task. Okay, here you can see, let us go down it. Here you can see this is the function for creating a to-do manager. Create to-do manager is the main function. Inside the function, we have returned the two functions. One is the add task function, and the other is the second function. Other is the second function called the displayable list. Get displayable list is the second function inside the create to do manager. Here, here you can see we are we have created the tasks array, which is private array, and next we are going to push the details of the tasks like title, due date, and completed to the tasks array. Whether the completed argument is given to these add tasks or not, it is not necessary. The completed attribute or the field is set to the false.